Still got your pearls hanging by my bedside. Still got your lips on paper in a trash now. I never knew love could be so sweet. I never knew it would sting. I never knew.
So as you can see, I will be mixing in a variety of organizing, cleaning, decluttering. This particular start of the video that I did was actually when I took over my mom's bedroom and I wanted to go ahead and do something for her and be able to. I know a lot of times if you have a room that's just kind of piled up, she was doing organizing of her walk-in closet, so then the explosion ended up being all over her bedroom, and it just can be a bit stressful not knowing exactly where to start. So having someone else go in, whether they're helping you or kind of guiding you along the way, can definitely make a world of a difference. So she's just kind of sorting through and letting me know what she's keeping, what she's not, and then I'm overall going to do a whole overall haul of cleaning it all, organizing, putting everything away to declutter any mess and things that she's either going to be donating or tossing away. I can't believe it's already over. Too late to talk and fix whatever's broken. I always thought love like ours would last. I never knew love could pass. Tomorrow comes and you are not around. Feels uneasy. Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Who said it'd be easy to be in love? Who said that the sun would always shine? I'm not sure you realize what you are giving up. When did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, Emily, when did you fall right out of love? Oh, Emily, when did the magic stop for us? Oh, but Emily, you are the part of me I feel. It will kill me when you leave and close my door. Oh, Emily. Oh, but Emily, And also, you guys, if my voice sounds a little bit funny, I'm currently battling a cold, so I'm just trying to go ahead and in between sneezing and stuff, go ahead and do these little voiceover clips of the video. So if you see there, I'm just going around to different areas of the room. So my suggestions to you, if you're going to be tackling a space that you have like a lot to do on that particular date, is just to go ahead and go section by section, this so you're not overwhelmed. And kind of the hardest part, I feel like, is knowing where to start. So just pick any corner, any section of that particular particular room and get started on it. And then I promise you, little by little, the piles will start to dwindle and you'll start seeing some headspace. I actually recently just filmed yesterday a ultimate, like, extreme, you guys, okay, extreme decluttering and organizing and cleanup of our sunroom. It's basically like a garage for us, and it's housed so many items, and it just became a total disaster. So that video you guys can look out for next week. And it's really hard to know exactly where to begin, but once I got started and now the job is officially done, I'm not going to lie, midway through I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to complete it, but we did, little by little. Also taking breaks, maybe not doing it all in one day when you have a space that's this extreme is definitely helpful.
This is a good a day as any to start the rebuilding of life. The roads that lay open are many when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to thaw from within. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today is a good day to live. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon in the far.
Also, when working with a lot of clothing, if you're doing your bedroom, for example, I like sorting different piles. Once she's decided what she's keeping, what she's donating, all of the keep pile have a section that's going to be folded and then a separate section of items that are going to be hung. This way you can tackle first all of the folded items, get those put away, and then just basically grab a bunch of your hangers that you have on hand, and you're going to go ahead and begin hanging everything up. So it'll make it much easier once transferring it back into your closet, and you can organize it a bit better as well.
But they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a wreck. Tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow.
So later on this year, my mom actually was going to be doing the whole IKEA pack system, similar to what I did in our master bedroom in our home. So she didn't really want to invest in additional like bins and baskets, which I would normally highly suggest if it's going to be a space, you know, that's going to stay as is. But because she's going to be transforming it and doing things, I suggest just using kind of what you already have and compiling different sections. Also, KonMari folding, you guys, it really is a game changer. It makes you fit so much more of the items that you're going to be using, and having it in like this file organizing type of system also makes it easier to see everything better on what exactly you're going to be wearing for that day, or outfits putting together, whether it be for yourself, or it works really great in kids' rooms as well.
Well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to live. something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no.
So once everything was cleared off from the bed, the majority of the floor, I went ahead and just moved onto her nightstand and make sure that we're of course going to have a clear surface, and then wipe that down with just some multi-purpose cleaner and a microfiber cloth, because you know, anytime you have things that are piling up and such, a lot of dust can accumulate on there. So make sure that's all done. And then for her drawers, I wanted to also make sure that we tackled those, and those can be a space that just didn't have things thrown in there. So having an organized, neat closet and also her nightstands really helped her. So in her drawers, she likes to keep undergarments, socks, and all that. So I did these organizers that I actually had brought over from my house that I had some left over. So I just went ahead, organized through those items as well. And the same way I do the KonMari folding method for like leggings and sleep shirts and such, I also like to do that for undergarments as well. You can fit so many more. As you can see here, once we're doing it, we still had a ton of space left over.
Tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow.
Then once everything was finished on the bed and such, we of course wanted to change out all of the bed sheets, because those with piles of different clothing of course were dirty, and you just want to have a nice clean slate, fresh start. So I took all of her bedding off of the bed and I placed it into the washing machine with some detergent and some unstoppable pods, got that going, and then we put it on a delicate load cycle to get washing while I continued on in the rest of the room. There were like certain areas on the flooring that kind of needed to be tackled and put away, additional like items that she also had that I went ahead and I put into storage, or that she was going to be giving away.
Jump into the car on a Friday night, I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town, I've never seen a sky so blue. We don't have a plan and the night is young, it doesn't matter what we do. There ain't nobody like you. Look so beautiful, and I'm so lucky to be yours. And you're taking me
And then of course, when you could finally see the flooring again, it's a great time to go on in there. Make sure you give everything a good vacuum, the rugs, the hardwood flooring, underneath the bench, underneath the beds and everything, to make sure we have everything cleaned and vacuumed and fresh from top to bottom. And I know how much you guys like before and afters, so this one was definitely a huge transformation. So had to go ahead and mark down the big after of what it looked like. The space is fresh and clean again and ready for her to begin. I feel like your bedrooms are so important to have a space that you feel cozy and relaxed in, because remember, it's the first thing you see when you wake up in the morning and the last thing you see when you close your eyes at night. So now we're going to go into my next video and we're working our way back into my home. So in my home, we're doing this particular video some kitchen organization, particularly the fridge. Does anyone else agree? Do you feel like you're constantly cleaning, decluttering, and organizing your fridges, no matter how good of a system you kind of have in place? It's always great. I would say once a month I like to take everything out of the fridge, give it a good wipe down, and make sure that nothing is left behind, like that we don't use anymore, and I'm just using all of the stock that I have.
Walking on the street when you caught my eye, something about the way you move. No, there ain't nobody like, there ain't nobody like. So lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. 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 Jump into the car on a Friday night. I wanna drive with you. Looking for a bar in the nearest town. I've never seen a sky so blue. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you.
So for this one, I feel like you kind of get the gist of exactly what I do here, just kind of watching through and following along. So you always want to make sure, number one, empty everything out. Secondly, toss in the trash whatever is bad, keep whatever is good, and then you're going to go in. I like to spray some Method Anti-Bac in there, and then I just take a double-sided sponge, use the scrubby side to remove any, let's say, food debris or anything that may be on there, and then I'll go in with the opposite side to go ahead and give it one final wipe down. Be sure to let your anti-bac sit for at least 10 minutes to make sure that it's, working and doing all the things that it needs to do, and then I'll give it one final spray down before wiping it all down with a paper towel and tossing that in the trash.
I've never seen a sky so blue. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you.
I feel like it wouldn't be a fridge clean out if there wasn't at least 1 or 2 rotten fruits in there. Am I right? I feel like you just kind of put stuff in there and then you buy new at the farmer's market and just keep adding. So I always like to go through those drawers especially. And then we're going to be removing those all the way out. I'm going to also go through the veggie section. And then once that's totally cleared through, I'm going to bring those into the sink and give them a good clean out from inside out. And then make sure I dry them before placing them back into the fridge.
We're falling out, we have reached disaster. Don't know where we're gonna be after. And we do it all again and again and again and again. Again and again and again and again. We're falling down, we faded. But I know that we can save it. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Even if we go a lot and break us down, I know we are Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. Like the waves pull you down underwater. We're fun until we hit the bottom. And we do it all again and again and again and again. Again and again and again and again. We're falling down, we faded. But I know that we can save it. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Even if we go all out and break us down, I know we are Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega.
Also, another thing that I'm thinking for this cleaning marathons, you guys know I try to do one a month. I think it would be a good idea, instead of feeling like I have to reiterate and talk for like a 2-hour cleaning clip, that I can always go ahead and actually leave in the original audio, so the music, the actual voiceover portions and all that, so you guys can really live through like if I'm doing that exact cleaning in real time. And it'll just be same thing as I incorporate like multiple clips into one, but I'll just of course have the actual real life audio that I did, because most of the time I would say when I film these videos I try to edit them about 2 to 5 days after filming, so it's all fresh in my memory and it'll be all, you know, from just doing them.
I know we can save it. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Even if we go all out and break us down, yeah, we can work it out. Cause we're like Alpha and Omega. Even if we go all out and break us down, yeah, we can work it out. Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Even if we go all out and break us down, I know we are Alpha and Omega. Whatever happens doesn't matter, I know we can sort it out. Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega.
Now for my favorite part of all is always the organizing. I don't know about you guys, but labeling things, getting them all organized is one of my favorite things to do. It's very therapeutic and calming for me. So I'm going to go ahead, anything that had labels already, go ahead and restock the items. Anything that didn't have a label, went ahead, added a label to it, and just make sure that the fridge is all cleaned and replenished with all of the now clean items, and nothing is, you know, close to expired date or anything like that.
I've got this feeling, I'm feeling you could be the one. I see no reason why I should ever let you go. I don't wanna wake up if I'm dreaming, because you know I can't get enough of this feeling you're giving me. Don't wanna wake up, no, I don't wanna wake up. I don't wanna wake up without you, baby, without. I wouldn't know what to, baby, without you. I wouldn't know what to, oh you know, oh you know, oh you know. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do, baby, without. I wouldn't know what to do. Oh you know, oh you know, oh you know. When you are with me, sometimes I forget to breathe.
I also went ahead and cleaned out my fruit organizers. These have worked out really great. We just kind of place the fruits into the baskets, make sure they're all nice and clean, and it just ensures that we eat honestly a lot more fruit throughout the day. Really easy for giving the girls fruits just along whatever they happen to be eating, just kind of adding a handful of whether it be blueberries, grapes, strawberries, just into each of their bowls so that they can have their daily serving of fruits a day, because if it's already washed and ready to go, it's so much easier to go right out and give them.
I'm looking in your eyes, wish you could see the things I see. I don't wanna wake up if I'm dreaming, because you know I can't get enough of this feeling you're giving me. Don't wanna wake up, without, I wouldn't know what to. Baby, without you, I wouldn't know what to. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Baby, without, I wouldn't know what to do. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, you got me wrapped around your finger.
So I restocked the eggs, I restocked the drinks, and then I'm going ahead and just putting back any spreads. I want to say I had that thing probably full, but half of the items either were like almost finished and I just tossed in the trash, or they had just expired. So I wanted to make sure that all of that was within date and ready to go. And then I refilled all of the fresh fruits in the fruit drawer, and then the same thing with the veggies, the carrots, the lettuce, the green beans, all of that back in the veggie drawer.
I wouldn't know what to. Baby, without you, I wouldn't know what to. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Baby, without, I wouldn't know what to do. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, you got me wrapped around your finger. Tell me what you wanna do. I think we're part of something bigger, and now my mind is filled with you. Oh, you know, 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 baby, without, I wouldn't know what to. Baby, without you, I wouldn't know what to. Oh, you know, oh, you know, oh, you know, baby, without, I wouldn't know what to do. Baby, without, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. Oh, you know, oh, you know.
Once I'm done with the interior of the fridge, I then work on the doors. So on the doors, you guys can see we have these little organizers here built in. I did label a lot of them so that anytime we're refilling things, it's just a lot easier to see and know exactly what goes where, especially for my husband. So I'm doing all sides of the doors as well as these little sections, emptying them out, wiping them clean as I did with the interior of the fridge, and then we're going to sort through all the condiments to see what's fresh and what's not.
Caught up in the middle, thinking of drowning in those blue eyes. I'm losing sight 'cause I am falling. I'm so deep down, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets
A lot of the times the sauces and different types of condiments tend to have some spillage, so I just use my Dawn power wash and I let that sit. Anytime it's like a hard to clean stain, I'll leave it on for at least 10 minutes to make sure it really penetrates into whatever I'm trying to wipe clean. And then I'm going to go ahead and continue on into the fridge while that sits for a few minutes. Once it has reached, I would say, like I said, about 10-15 minutes in there, then I could go back in and make sure I thoroughly clean it into the sink and then dry it all out. When doing this, I'm just careful to not really wet the front part too much because those labels aren't really as sturdy. You know, placing those on the front weren't vinyl. So the other ones I have in the interior fridge can be wet and they're permanent vinyl, but the other ones were just from Amazon. So I just like to be careful there when washing that I am making sure nothing comes out.
I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall. And it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide what this is. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes. And you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I am running for you. I am running for you. I am running for you. If it gets too dark.
So now this is the whole after of what the fridge looks like, totally clean, organized, and decluttered. So showing you what the doors look like on the sides as well as the whole interior. We had Capri's baby foods, our deli meats, all of the fruits, all of the veggies, and then the variety of organizers for sauces, eggs, beverages, as well as some of the kids' snacks, our juices, and our milks.
I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I am running for you. I am running for you. I am running for you. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. I'll be your light. Your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light.
Once the interior of the fridge was all clean, I go in with my absolute favorite cleaner for stainless steel. I just spritz it on the outside and then I take a microfiber cloth. So I'll rub that in on one side, circular motions, and then when I'm done with that, I'll flip it over to the opposite side that has no product whatsoever on it to kind of just polish all of the stainless steel. I like to use this on my stove, on my refrigerator, as well as the dishwasher, and it works really, really great at getting rid of any fingerprints from the kids or any type of like food that may have spilled on there. And now I'm going to go on to other areas of my kitchen and just reorganize those as well.
I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all those lonely nights and heartbreaks. And I feel misplaced without you. Why don't we go back to, why don't we go back to, never wanted to end it like we did. I guess shit happens for a reason, but it's like something like waking up without you.
So of course, if we're doing some fridge organization, why not have some pantry organization as well? I know a lot of you mentioned that you have small pantries like mine, so you always like when I get to show it. I do have a full in-depth video here on my channel exactly how I organize this small space. I know it becomes very difficult to find exactly what could fit without just kind of shoving all the products in there, but the system that I created for here has been working great. It's been over 2 years and I pretty much have not had to change anything as far as the organization system that I have in place with the bins and the jars. It's just been working out for us, and I just continuously just have to restock things each week. And then I would say same thing like the fridge, about once a month I like to clear everything out and wipe it clean, because whether it be, nuts falling out of the jar or cookie crumbs coming out of the cookie jar, we always like to just have a nice clean slate after a big like Costco run.
Why don't we go back to your bedroom? I had a feeling you'd come back and save me from all my slip-ups and mistakes. And now I'm just pointless without you. Why don't we go back to never wanted to end things like we did. I'm sorry for all those promises I made you that I couldn't keep, but it's like something feels different from back then. Why don't we go back to honestly, I'm open wide. I don't feel like waking up without you by my side. I still see your silhouette. Why don't we go back to your bedroom? Just take me back to you. Wanna go back to you. Baby, take me back.
Then also when I work on the lower portions and the drawer areas of the pantry, I also like to work on the upper part of the pantry. So this little area, it should basically miscellaneous items that we use, let's say for our oatmeal or pancakes. So this kind of changes out a bit. So I just like to sort through. And then the very back portion, you guys see I have these cereal organizers, which I absolutely love. We've been using them for quite some time and they work out great. And then I also keep the girls like powdered oatmeal inside the kids section, and I just fill that up, and it makes it easy for mornings when we're running out the door to just kind of fill that up and make them each a bowl.
Honestly, I'm open wide. I don't feel like waking up without you by my side. I still see your silhouette. Why don't we go back to your bedroom? Just take me back to you. Wanna go back to you. Baby, take me back to you. I just wanna go back to you. Baby, take me back to you. Your bedroom.
Then this turnable has also been great for things for me and Mike for breakfast. So there we have oatmeal for us, little mini muffins, granola bars, all of that. And then where I have the acrylic 3-tiered stand there, that's where we like to keep our back stock of like beans, soups, tuna jars, anything like that.
I'm kinda new with apologies. Holding back, I got history. Yeah. But the way you've been crossing the line, oh, it's something in me that says it's fine. Hoping you wouldn't change me. Got the same old thoughts, be my referee. I will be alright. Never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you. Kinda used to these battlegrounds where you flee, you don't stick around, no.
So now I'm just restocking a few more items that I had in these canisters. These are the OXO ones. I love because they have like a seal on them to make sure that everything stays fresh. So I already break my pasta in half when putting it in here because it works really great at when I'm going to be making fresh pasta for dinner. It's the perfect size handful that already fits within our pots to cook. So I just scoop it right from there, put it in the pot, and we are good to go. And then I also like to keep our little oatmeal with the scooper because it's great to throw scoops into our protein shakes, or Mike likes to take bowls of oatmeal to work and he'll just make it right at work, so it makes it nice, easy access.
Giving me time, oh, it's something in me that says it's fine. Hoping you wouldn't change me. You got the same old thoughts, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you. Hoping you wouldn't change me. You got the same old thoughts, be my referee. I will be alright, never cut it right, but somehow you make me change. You make me wanna do better. I don't know why. You make me wanna do better. You make me wanna do better. I don't know why. I don't know why. Like I'm better off with you. Like I'm better off with you.
So now showing you guys an after, so what you can look like of what the whole pantry looks like after everything is cleaned out and reorganized. I highly suggest reorganizing your spaces. I know sometimes you think it's such a hard task and you do it once and it's done, but it's definitely something that requires maintenance, and just doing a little something, like I said, like once a month of your fridge and your pantry areas just really helps to maintain it, keeping it fresh and organized. Now this here was actually post basement reno. If you can see the crazy amount of tools and paint and all of the things that we had when we were renovating our basement. We are almost fully done. We literally just have to put up I want to do some tiling behind the wet bar there, and we have some floating shelves, the same ones that we used out in our basement, that we used in our laundry room. So once me and Mike get a free weekend to tackle that together, we're going to do it, and then I'll be able to show you guys that whole section of the basement totally done, because I know I did the whole playroom reveal on here, but I did not yet show you the opposite side. So slowly but surely working on it. So here was just a major declutter, work on quickness and sorting through what we were keeping, what needed to be placed into storage for any future projects, so we could actually see the floor and the girls could begin kind of hanging out downstairs.
Let me tell you this, let me tell you right now, your exquisite kiss still burning. Didn't know I missed this passion in life. Now I'm addicted somehow. Let me tell you what is up with your smile. It's impossible, not melting, irresistible. When I look through your eyes, not even sky's the limit. I used to be satisfied, stayed over the surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher. You lift me up, now I can see so much farther. Beyond the horizon, beyond the horizon. I'm a butterfly who has only begun, taking me a while to get it. Had to live and cry to appreciate life, and what you give is worth it. When you're holding me, when you hold me so close, I want further in under your skin. Wanna leave a mark so that I can be sure that you remember what's been. I used to be satisfied, stayed over the surface. Now I just can't get enough. You make me feel good like no other. I just want everyone to see what I've discovered. And when I'm with you, I go higher. You lift me up, now I can see so much farther. Beyond the horizon, beyond the horizon. And let me tell you what I found. Leaving everything behind, knowing there is more in life that I want. Now I wanna embrace life, you and I side by side, knowing there is more in life that I want.
The best is when you have this huge pile of mess and you think the end is not coming, but little by little you start seeing things come together. This was so hard for me to honestly clean and organize this area because so many of the tools and everything was pretty much Mike. So a lot of it I didn't know where he wanted it, where we were going to put it, what he was going to be keeping. There's been so many times where like I'm just trying to be ahead of the mess and I'm cleaning up as he's kind of working on projects, and he's like, oh my goodness, you threw out those nails or you threw out that item. I'm like, what? I thought it was old. I thought it was garbage. And he later tells me, no, that was something he was saving that he needed. It could also just be surprise, surprise, but I'm pretty sure he has a hoarding problem. And I'm the total opposite. I don't want any clutter. I want to get rid of things, and just if it doesn't have a home, then it doesn't belong in my home is basically my motto.
Buy what I want, I don't want it. Do what I like, I don't like it. My life is a mess, screaming with boredom. I don't feel nothing when I'm buzzing. Someone add some glamorous her. 'Cause when I sleep alone for insomnia, they say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. I chew, I don't taste it. Obsessing over dress when I split. Shoot me a blink, I'm dying from boredom. I even lie when I tell the truth. Honestly, what's the use? They say you have to be beaten up before you're tender enough. They say you have to bruise to feel. I must be made out of steel. No one is in charge of my steering. This I know, Hoping dreams are meant to be shared and seen. No, I know, yes I know. Painting watercolors outside the lines is uplifting and no crime. Get out of the box, let me show you how. Here we go.
So once I was totally done with everything that was all over the floor space, I then worked on the top of this table. This was basically the table, honestly, that Mike used through our entire house reno. It just came really in handy. It was here in the basement when we bought the house, so he just uses it as basically his workspace. Now that we're done with all the major projects in our house, we did get rid of it. We just dropped it off at bulk pickup in our town. But for now, I was just putting everything away and kind of sorting through which like tools are together, and then this way Mike just kind of has an area and a place to start of where he's actually going to put items in either our storage or in our shed to go ahead and put away himself.
You know they want me but the sweet, sweet talking, pretty eyes, pretty lips. You know they told me you will fall too easily, but guess I like a quick fix. It's just not that I don't listen, it's just the way you're coming so close to me. It's just not that I don't feel the tension, it's just the way I want you to come closer. Go ahead, yeah, go ahead. Go and break my little heart, yeah, break my little heart. I don't care, no, I don't care. Either way I fall apart. You know they say that I should get out quickly, don't matter if I wanna stay. You know they talk about you when you're not here, but they don't even know your name. It's just not that I don't listen, it's just the way you're coming so close to me. It's just not that I don't feel the tension, it's just the way I want you to come closer. Go ahead, yeah, go ahead. Go and break my little heart, yeah, break my little heart. I don't care, no, I don't care. Either way I fall apart.
Then I was just removing also a lot of the dust from some of our bigger tools, because if you have ever renovated things, you guys, you know how dusty it gets, and dust gets on literally everything in all the crevices and areas that you never even thought would exist. It totally gets there. So I wanted to go ahead and wipe everything down, and then I would vacuum up any type of debris or dust that fell off. And then I was placing these larger tools that were like heavy on top of some leftover cardboard, because I didn't want it to ruin, of course, our brand new floors that we had just put down. So I'm moving on to all the areas in the basement and doing that in sections.
It's just not that I don't feel the tension, it's just the way I want you to come closer. Go ahead, yeah, go ahead. Go and break my little heart, yeah, break my little heart. I don't care, no, I don't care. Either way I fall apart.
Then for the playroom side, I had to do the exact same thing. If you can see, he had a lot more smaller tools on this side because he was actually working on the girls' little playhouse. So that, of course, used smaller tools and like screws and nails that I had to go ahead and put away. And then I'm removing any of this cardboard. That same thing. He likes to just put it down for like safety of the floors, but a lot of those things we were done with, so I was ready to go ahead and put it in recycle.
Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Only time will tell. Why do you keep telling me nothing? But I know all your flaws, at least they say something. Still I try to connect with you through your eyes. Your eyes. What is on your mind? I think it's time to speak. I have crossed the line, but no, not just me. I'm feeling something that goes beyond us. Us. Can we work it out?
Then that there was just actually our fridge for our wet bar. That is, of course, already installed at this point, but that's when we had just got it in, and I wanted to show you guys what it was going to look like. Just an all-white Kohler sink. Super cute and very functional, just to have, something when we're like rinsing a quick cup, or I'm doing like arts and crafts with the girls in their playroom. I have like access right there easily to the water.
It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Yeah. Only time will tell. I still want all of you, and I know all your colors. And I guess 'cause of that I can think of no others. Yeah, I need you to breathe. Without you I'm lost. I'm lost, yeah. What is on your mind? I think it's time to speak. I have crossed the line, but no, not just me. I'm feeling something that goes beyond us. Us. Can we work?
After I was done cleaning off all of my baseboards, I then went ahead with the vacuum and decided to vacuum up the entire basement. So once I did like the stairs, the baseboards, cleared off anything that didn't belong, I felt like a lot of the dust fell onto, of course, the floor area, and it was ready to be all vacuumed up and get everything fresh again. And then I'm going to be finishing off with my steam mop. I feel like the steam mop gives the best clean, especially after large projects like this. So I just put some floor cleaner all over the floor. These are vinyl flooring, so you don't have to be particular and worried about specific floor cleaners. Pretty much just pick your favorite and your favorite scent and you're good to go. So I just did that, and then I went ahead and plugged up my Shark steam mop and got going on the entire basement.
It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Yeah. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Work it out. No, no. What is on your mind? I think it's time to speak. I have crossed the line, but no, not just me. I'm feeling something that goes beyond us. Us. Can we work it out? Only time will tell. It's gonna take a lot, 'cause we've been through hell. I can't be without you. I've tried and I failed. So can we work it out? Yeah. Only time will tell. Only time will tell. Tell.
Now for some bathroom cleaning motivation. Who loves cleaning their bathrooms? Not me, but hey, we all have to do it, right? So I'm just restocking soap in the soap dispenser. I'm going to go ahead restocking the hand towels to dry your hands after washing, and then give everything a really good wipe down, disinfecting the sink, the countertops, as well as the toilet from inside out.
Do you miss me at all? Do you think about the things we used to do? No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all. Why didn't you call? Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me?
For my sink and my countertops, I do basically different methods, no rhyme, no reason. I use different types of countertop cleaners because these are just like a faux marble look, so I don't have to be too careful on them and they won't, get damaged by any particular sprays. The only area that I'm still trying different cleaners is actually for our gold faucet here. For some reason, I just feel like it sparkles like right after I wipe it, but then after that, it just starts to look like old, and you could see it almost looks like water stains on it. So if you guys have any tips, please let me know because I want to keep it sparkly and shiny for, of course, way longer than just 10 minutes.
Used to do. No, you couldn't stand tall. So why didn't you call? So many years has gone by, but I think about you all the time. Looks like you're changing and all, but why didn't you
Then I'm just working my way onto the toilet bowl, and I like to let the comment and all of that kind of sit for a bit, and then I'll go on in and begin cleaning. I do use paper towels, not microfiber cloths, when doing the toilet bowl, just because I feel like that's the most sanitary. I don't know about you guys, but for me, I just feel like that works best. So I go ahead, spritz everything down, get rid of all the dirt. Make sure you lift your toilet caps, you guys. You see all of that, like, excess yuckiness on there. Go ahead, lift it up, and then that'll ensure that you really can get on in there and wipe everything clean, because anytime you don't get really in the crevices over there, it can cause smells, to be in your bathroom still without even realizing it.
Something in the air, always something in the air. Inexplicable, I can feel it in the air. Can you feel me? Can you feel me?
Also, this is reminding me that I need to go pick up more of those Clorox tablets. I loved having them. It would you pop it in there, and then for like a month, it's always putting like fresh cleaning fluid in there, keeping it looking blue for freshness and all of the good things. So it also makes it easier when you're cleaning your toilet bowls on a weekly basis, that nothing is really stuck on like scum or anything like that within the toilet. So it helps you out in the long run as well. So I'll probably add that to my next Target drive up coming up soon. And then I'm going ahead and I'm spraying some glass cleaner on all of the glass doors, these glass shower doors that I have in here. Although we don't use the shower in here, it's still important to have it sparkly, especially because Capri literally kisses on them and puts her fingers all over them. I do not know why, but you know, always for making my job harder.
Somewhere deep in my mind, see the barbed wire. The place is grown all wide, 'cause I don't know if it'll be enough, or if they really care. There's a stairway down for the both of us, but let's not go there. You got me thinking, whoa.
Then for my floors, I just like to go in most of the time, you guys, after I've went in with like the vacuum. I like to just go in with a microfiber cloth, some floor cleaner, and warm soapy water, and then just get right down there on my hands and knees. When I'm feeling, you know, actually since getting my Tyneco wet dry mop, I've actually been able to kind of put that in here, and I only really need to go down for the corner pieces by the toilet bowl, but that thing has been working great for like the larger areas like this in my bathroom.
I'm telling you. Somehow in this small place, minds begin to shrink when everyone is too fake. Your hope eventually sinks, 'cause I don't know if it'll be enough, or if there's a way out. There's a stairway down for the both of us.
Then for my dining room, I go ahead and have to clean off all the clutter. Right now it's currently decorated with fall tablescapes, so that works in my favor because the kids, the husband, and myself don't feel like it's just a dumping ground to put everything we get when we come in from the side door. So it's actually been maintaining and looking quite lovely this fall season in staying without having any clutter all over it. But this particular day, it had toys, and it had mess, and it had who knows what was on there, but everything that I had to go ahead and declutter and put away myself. Not waiting a minute, awaken my spirit now. You got me thinking, whoa, I don't know how we got here. Oh my, I think we better run. We ought to leave this place tonight, I'm telling you. Once I wiped that down, I did the same wood cleaner for my dining table, and then I used that exact same cleaner for my credenza area as well. This we just like to keep like a bowl here for like our keys and everything, because those barn doors right behind me is actually the doors that we used to come on in to the house. So it's really great to have something there, easy access, so things aren't just, you know, lost in the mess.
Suitcase, we'll
right things when I'm hurting. You always pick me up when I am down. It's like you have a spark that leaves me burning. Yeah, you just have your ways to get me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right when I'm around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I'm feeling blue.
Then lots of laundry to put away. I always like to keep a basket in the laundry room that I can pile up all of the folded clean clothes. And I like to do this basically separated. So all the things that are me and Mike's, I'll first pile up, bring that upstairs, put it away. And then a separate pile for the girls. I usually put Capri's stuff at the very bottom and then Mila's items right above that. It just makes it easier when putting all of the things away. If not, I would be there for hours if I had everything just kind of divided. And also when it comes to washing, I'll wash mine and Mike's clothes together and then Mila and Capri's clothes together.
'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. You touch me in a way that makes me shiver. Sometimes I can't believe that you are mine.
Coffee break. It's been an hour and 15 minutes. So if you're still cleaning, treat yourself, reward yourself with a cup of coffee, as I am here, making a fresh Nespresso cup. So frothy, so good. So take that little break, get it going, and then when you're done, light a candle and continue on to motivate yourself.
You kiss me in a way that gets me high. You make all my dreams come true. It feels right just being around you. We could break up and then make up. I always come back to you. You move me in a way never thought anyone could. You get me high. You're my drug when I'm feeling blue. Yeah, it's all you. 'Cause you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one.
So I'm just unloading all the dishes from the dishwasher, getting them put back in their place. So I have like our plates in a certain section, cups, forks, all of that. And then the girls on the lower portion of our cabinets, they have their own space as well. I've actually been putting, if you can see those drawers there, some of the disposable cups for the girls because it makes it a lot easier. If like Mila wants some water or she wants to get something for her sister, she doesn't have to wait for me. She can easily just reach for it herself. And that's been working out really great, post-school pickup when everyone wants snacks and drinks and everything all at the same time.
You're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one. Yeah, you're the one, babe. Yeah, you're the one.
Once all the dishes are put away and everything's clean in the sink, I then like to go in my method cleaner for my countertops. This is by far my favorite. I play around with some others, but I always make sure I have at least one of these on hand in my back stock because like I said, it works absolutely great for our quartz countertops. I feel like it gives them clean, it doesn't leave any residue, and they have two different scents, but personally for me, I feel like the apple scent, it's apple orchard, is just so yummy, and I just love smelling it every time I spray a fresh counter.
Lonesome trip. out the lights for no reason. Was it a make believe? Something you never needed. What was it all for? I don't know you anymore. We go back, we go back, we go back, we colliding. Losing track.
Then a little living room cleanup. Of course, my little helper Mila. This was back when she wasn't in school yet and she used to spend days with her mama, and I'm missing her now. Speaking of her, yeah, she used to help me clean up the living room. And the only pro I will say, okay, now that she's in school, my living room is never in this bad of a state. Capri is now learning how to fully empty. Oh my gosh, look how little Capri was there. So cute. She's now 17 months and she's getting into everything. But now she's starting to realize how to get all the toys out of the basket and dump them. But it's still not as messy as the things that Mila is able to do at age 5.
Not ready for it yet. So today's going to be my first day that I pop into my local Home Goods. I'm going to be peeking to see kind of what inspires me, what type of style I'm personally going to be going with, what style I'm going to be going with for this year, and give you guys lots of inspiration.
No, I keep thinking, was I wasting my time letting you into my life? You brought out the best in me. We had everything we needed. You put me aside and turn out the lights for no reason. Was it a make believe? Something you never needed. What was it all for? I don't know you anymore. We go back, we go back, we go back, we colliding. Losing track, even God knows.
So once all the toys were put away and everything back in its place, Mila was just kind of helping me. I keep a little basket beside the couch as well for like our remote controls, any of our cords, chargers, and things like that. And then I'm just tidying up the sofas. This was Mila's like favorite chore to do. She's so good at it now. She fluffs up the pillows and she puts the fresh ones on there to make sure it's a nice fresh start. And it's so cute to watch her do that. And then I'm going to go in with my cordless vacuum and go ahead and vacuum everything on up from both of the rooms. And this was actually my first time trying out a wet vacuum. Yeah, well, not really a wet vacuum. It's you plug it in, it looks like a vacuum, but it's a wet mop. So just basically it's powered. That's what it is. It's a powered mop. So you can use it on all your hard surfaces. If you guys know, our entire house is hardwood flooring on the first and second floor. So we only have like some area rugs in the girls' bedrooms and our living room. So we need always things that are going to be great for cleaning hard surfaces. So I'm always trying, you guys know, the latest things to see what's great, what's not, what's going to work for us. So this wet mop made a big difference. Instead of me having to use you really can't use, honestly, a like water bucket and mop your floors when you have real hardwood. It can actually be quite damaging to them if it gets excess water. So this one works out great because it disperses the perfect amount. So I really love that.
Tried sometimes, but you're making me nervous. No, I've realized that I can't live without you. All my friends reassure that it's obvious, and that maybe I'm wasting my time, but I gotta try. The only reason I keep sneaking out at night to laugh with you in secret under city lights. Surprised you never had the guts to figure out how I feel about you. Wish me the best of luck. I'm gonna win your love. Coming to get you, dying to feel your touch. Wish me the best of luck. Coming to get you. Wish me the best of luck. Trying to steal your hand. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. The only reason I keep sneaking out at night, keep wishing you would kiss me under city lights. I know you feel it every time I look at you. How I feel about you. Wish me the best of luck. I'm gonna win your love. Coming to get you, dying to feel your touch. Wish me the best of luck. Coming to get you. Wish me the best of luck. Trying to steal your hand. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you. Coming to get you.
Now for some bedroom cleaning, I went ahead, put on some fresh sheets onto the bed, made our bed. I don't know about you guys, but the day that I put on fresh sheets, I'm just so excited to go to sleep that night. They just feel so crisp and fresh and almost like they're cooler. I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like it's not as hot getting into the bed when you have your fresh bed sheets. And then I just place my comforter up top, over top, and then all of course, decorative pillows as well.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine. But I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got style, the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only.
Then of course, in making my bed, can't forget about little Miss Mila's bed. So I went into her room, fluffed up all of her pillows, her duvet cover, make sure everything was arranged nicely, and put her quilt at the very end with all of her pillows in there. And then the next couple of clips that you guys are going to see is another cleaning video where I, cleaned off my dining room. So I'm not going to talk over that. That will just play some music for you since I talked over the previous clips of cleaning my dining room. And we are almost at the 30-minute mark of completing today's cleaning. So keep going, keep being motivated if you guys are cleaning your own spaces.
Can't you see We do this every day. We do this.
Okay, and this is just not cleaning for you guys, but this is also my spring tablescape that I did for this year. So if you need decorating inspiration, here you go. We have some cleaning and decorating of the dining room space.
You got a smile that makes the sun rise. You make it shine. But I can see that you don't realize, and that's what made me fall in love. 'Cause you got the way your body makes my heart beat sound. It's amazing all the time. You are the only thing I need in life. Oh, I want you. Can't you see? I want you. I believe, 'cause I want you here with me. I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna go crazy for love. Feel like I was falling through the air. No one but myself to hold my hand. Standing in the shadows of where we have been. Sleeping with your back facing me. I know, this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 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 We've been into places all at once. Wish that what we said would come undone. Feels like our minds have been turned off. Haven't seen each other for so long. I know, this isn't us. Baby, pull me closer, let's fall in love. Oh, I can feel my body move to every move you make. And I can feel the tension every time we're close. I know whatever happens, I will have you next to me. 'Cause tonight we have it all. 'Cause we're dancing as one. 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 You and me are moving. Make sure we get through this. Let's just keep on dancing as one.
Every time I look back on previous years and previous videos, it makes me miss that particular style or decorations I did for that year, and it really makes me wish I could redo them again. But you know, I'm always here to give you guys motivation, inspiration, especially when it comes to decor. So every year I do switch it up and change it out, trying new things so you guys can get ideas, so you can look back on previous years, maybe something that you want to try and recreate in your own home, or whether it be something new that I come up with for the current year that you want to go ahead and mimic. Totally here for the ideas.
Let's just keep on dancing as one. 'Cause we're 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 dancing as one.
It was years ago, but how can I
these little bunny fillers were just so cute. They were neutral, but then the little bunnies was the little twist. Do you see how cute that was? It had like the little pop of pink and little pom-poms. A lot of this filler, actually, I'm thinking of using it. I can just pop out the bunnies, and then you can use all the other styles for all year round because it's very neutral and goes with a lot of different styles. And here is the whole after of the dining room, what it looked like, fully complete, clean, and decorated for, it was this year, so spring 2021.
If you hold me close, I won't let go again. We have time to grow. This wasn't a mistake, and we can grow old if you love me again, my friend. This time is different, so please do not let me go. Please do not let me go. It was years ago, but I still see your